Take a look at this video. I'll comment.
Pat, Jeff, well, this video has gone viral on social media, and it caught many of the parents and also teachers and students' attention, who then brought it to us. Today, there was a rally held here outside of the school, and as the district is trying to determine how the fight started, students and parents are raising questions about racial tensions here at the high school.
Hold somebody's hand to show unity.
Students and parents uniting together outside Malibu High School today after this video surfaced online of two groups of 8th graders fighting. In the video taken last Wednesday, a group of kids are seen fighting with twin brothers near the basketball court. Both groups are pushing, spitting, yelling obscenities, and even racial epithets. And then a boy threatens one of the brothers.
I can get them to kill you. Oh my parents all get them to kill you.
The school district said they are investigating to see if the fight was racially motivated.
Yeah, see, okay. Boy, do I got a lot to say here. Okay. So, here's what I think. First, I'm going to try to be as fair as possible on the facts. I honestly don't know because I wasn't there, but I will say this. Was it racially motivated? I don't think so. But here's the thing. When you say, I'm going to hire 10 guys to come down here and fucking kill you, you've changed the whole dynamic. That is a threat. And there's a zero tolerance policy I thought still stood, since there's a lot of shootings and stabbings in schools, that should you say that, the police have to come and they have to investigate you and investigate your parents. That aside, now, I do think parents need to actually sit down with their kids. And you know what? I think a lot of parents work to the point where they're probably just really tired when they get home too, so they don't have the time maybe. And a lot of the kids, they're on their video games. They don't want to hear this kind of, learning about current events or learning about anything, really, to be honest. I mean, not that all kids are stupid. I will say this. I do like how a lot of people came together to support the two kids who felt they were bullied. Now, I have to also say, before the cameras were recording, there's also some things that could have happened that we did not see. I got to be real fair with that, because I'm not just going to jump on any one side more than the other. I'm going to go with facts and what I know. And I don't know anything other than what I see, what I've heard, and what I'm being told. And you got to come to the best conclusion with all that information. So I think it may not have been racially motivated, but even if it wasn't, the mom was right. When her kid was crying and he was trying to get away, the 4 or 5 kids that were in a group, they were like, oh, you fucking pussy, you're gonna cry now? You're gonna cry and go to your mom? Oh, you fucking pussy, you're all talk. What the fuck's wrong with you? That shows no compassion. That doesn't mean like, it changed from just having it be a schoolyard fight to some real hate. At least it looked like that on video. And in this day and age, see, if those kids knew the current events of, let's say, the Charlottesville, Virginia protest against the Nazis, and the Nazi that plowed through 19-20 people, severely injuring them and killing one woman, if they knew current events, I wonder how much more sensitive they would have been to the fact of how things can look. Because all 4 or 5 of those white kids, and going after those 2 black kids, or that one black kid, I can't remember, it looked racially motivated, because that's what's going on nowadays. But that's because these kids are not fucking educated. When I say educated, I'm not talking about like curriculum book learning. I'm talking about emotional intelligence and learning the history of everyone, not just you. And I notice, like, because I work in some of these communities, I've had some issues myself. Some of the kids that I've dropped off, I tell them, if I'm dropping you off at a house I have never been to before, you are walking in with me. Because I don't know. Some people don't like people of color, and they'll tolerate me, and this has happened, they'll tolerate me because I happen to work for some of the families whose kid I'm bringing to their house. But they don't want to have anything else to do with me other than, are you picking up so-and-so? Yes? No? Okay, great. Doesn't feel good. It's almost like a business relationship with some of these other people. Now, as far as the high school stuff, I don't know. I think that this sucks. This is I mean, where's it gonna go? If people don't get out of their own comfort zone, so to speak, and actually start trying to do something that is involving getting to know people. If you just go to school with kids of color, or you just go to work with people of color, but you don't actually break bread with people of color in your house, and this goes vice versa too, then when a conflict arises, it is going to be much easier to be hateful and to be violent because you still have a sense of the other. You're still not comfortable with that person. Although you may see that person in school, you don't break bread with that person. There is a big difference. You may see that person as a human being, that's great, but you don't see them as your brother.
But this has already sparked outrage about inequality at Malibu High and Middle School, as students and parents held a rally in support of the brothers this morning.
There's definitely racial tensions, and I feel like the school isn't doing as much as they could do.
Some students who witnessed the fight say it wasn't about race at all.
For it to be labeled as a race thing, I think is a bit much because it takes away from the actual issue of racism.
Marianne Bema is the mother of the brothers seen in the video.
I agree with that, with what he said. I have been having problems with like people calling Andrew Yang a white supremacist, crypto white supremacist, because he was bringing to people the concern of radicalizing middle class or poor whites into white supremacy because of economics. Like, I hate the fact that they're going to call someone white supremacist just because he said it. Now, what that kid just said, he was right. He's right. Don't call everything racial if it's not racial, because it takes away from the things that are racial. And on the flip side, I am going to say this. Sometimes some of these kids will say some racist ass shit and they'll think it's funny. And that's because they don't hang around too many people of color. Okay. This one, I'm going to, again, I'm going to be as fair as I can. Because I've had some of these kids in my car and they'll say some racist shit thinking it's funny. Or some homophobic shit thinking it's funny. And that's because you haven't been around too many people of color. Because if you say that around a certain amount of people of color, like, somebody's going to say something. And that's the thing. That's when you become insensitive to other people. You got to get out and be aware of what brought us to where we are today. And you got to learn the history of not just your history, but the history of everybody, because all of our histories are connected.